Hello my viewers, welcome back to the channel. By the video title, you know what this video is about. We're just discussing some Steelers news and updates. I'm probably gonna have another video coming out today. I know I say it every time, I always forget to put the other one out. But I'm gonna have another video probably today. I'll do double uploads. So I'm gonna do one, as you were hearing right now, of course, Steelers news, and then also one later in the day, probably do a specific topic or something I want to discuss. But I want to talk about, of course, right now the Steelers are still waiting for Aaron Rodgers' decision, of course. He said Rodgers could make a decision later this week. We'll see if that happens or whether it happens or not. But we also seen that the Steelers might have a deadline set for Rodgers like that. They want the decision to be done ahead of the draft, of course, which I think a lot of teams would probably want, because you want to make sure you know exactly what you need to get in the draft. We know a lot of rumors and reports that's happening said that Shedeur Sanders could possibly drop down. I don't think he's gonna drop down, but it's far-fetched, like I mentioned last video. But I think Shedeur Sanders, if he was to fall down, he fell down to 21. That'd be interesting. I think once you get past the Saints, then you'd be like, okay, he possibly could fall to us at 21, because I know the top three teams, the Titans, the Browns, and the Giants, they definitely need quarterbacks like that. So I can't see them really passing upon him. But if he got past them, then it'd be the Jets. You'd be like, okay, they could possibly take a quarterback. Even with Justin Fields there, they can take another guy just in case they don't fully believe in Justin Fields. They only got him a 2-year deal, so that's like a long-term thing. So that'd be interesting to see. But once they get past the Saints, who need a quarterback too, because Derek Carr is not really the full answer, then like, okay, he might possibly fall down. We've seen crazy things happen before. We've seen Lamar Jackson, who was a Heisman Trophy winner, play phenomenal at Louisville, fall all the way down to the last pick. The Ravens have traded back up in the draft to get him like that, and you see he's now 2-time MVP. He's a phenomenal player. He's on his way to keep this pace up. He's on his way to get into the Hall of Fame, of course. So we have all these different things happening. So we've seen crazy things happen before. We also seen teams trade up for a guy they really love. And the Steelers do like Shedeur Sanders, but they didn't really talk about him a lot, because it's like, that's kind of far-fetched. You're not gonna be able to get him. But we did see the Chiefs. Remember at one time when they went to the playoffs many years with Alex Smith, they traded up in the draft to get Patrick Mahomes, and now they've been to 5 Super Bowls and they won 3 of them with Patrick Mahomes like that. And even that year they had Mahomes, they still went to the playoffs like that. The Steelers in a predicament. I ain't saying like we like the Chiefs like that in that sense, but we are a team that's in the playoff every year. Now we don't mind to get the job done fully. It's kind of like that. The guys ever seen The Wiz? Remember The Wiz with Michael Jackson and Donald Ross? Is like the a different version of The Wizard of Oz like that. Like The Wiz, kind of like basically the black version of The Wizard of Oz a little bit. Michael Jackson, Donald Ross and stuff. They had that song on there, "You Can't Win, You Can't Get Out of the Game." That's kind of like us right now, the Steelers. We can't win and get out of the first round, so we can't get out of the game like that. So we've been struggling to get past the hump, kind of like the Chiefs was doing a little bit with Alex Smith. And then they finally traded up and got their guy, their top tier guy, in Patrick Mahomes. And what happened? Went out there and did magical things. Patrick Mahomes, a very good player, a very good quarterback. So I think the Steelers are kind of like in that predicament a little bit. They could possibly make a move like that, trade up in the draft to get a top tier quarterback, to get a Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders. I doubt they fall a little bit, but if they do, that'll be interesting to see what happens. But we have to wait and kind of like play the field out and see what the Steelers do. But I do like, of course, our roster. I think our roster is solid. And they did have, of course, Mel Blount, the legendary Mel Blount. They changed the rules because of him. Very good cornerback. Physical cornerback, dominant cornerback with Steelers history, one of the best of all times. Steelers had a few great cornerbacks. Rod Woodson, and then you got Mel Blount. You had 2 of the best top 10 cornerbacks of all time. It's very good to have on your resume as a team in the franchise. But Mel Blount, he said that Steelers still got some things to fix on the offensive side a little bit, which is true. And they also said that the Steelers are not where they should be defensively. He said they got the pieces, but they're not where they should be defensively. And that is true too as well. The Steelers, they have the pieces, of course, like I mentioned, the T.J. Watts before, the Alex Highsmith, the bona fide pieces, Cam Hayward. You have all pros at all different levels. T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward, multiple-time first team all-pros. Then you got a guy at second level, Patrick Queen, who's a former all-pro as well. Then you got a guy at the third level, Mr. Fitzpatrick, who's a 3-time first team all-pro. So you have guys who are all-pros at 3 different levels. You have JPJ, who has potential to be nice. He kind of get the penalties down a little bit as well. And you go out there, you have then you got Nichols from the Jets, brought in more depth. You got Darius Slay, who's a very good cornerback, maybe Hall of Fame cornerback. You never know. Maybe not first ballot, but probably get in eventually. He has a pretty good resume, multiple first team all-pro selections, multiple Pro Bowls and stuff. Had a pretty good career. So you have a Darius Slay as well in that locker room too, but you're still missing the up front. You did add depth, of course. You got a lot of good secondary depth, and you add some depth up front in the D-line, but you're still missing those top pieces, and you probably get those pieces in the draft. You got Kendall Bennon, you got Cam Hayward, but you need to add more pieces. I think Kenneth Grant would be great, or Derek Harmon would be great. Or Alfred Collins, that would be great. Talik Williams would be great. One of those guys in the draft one of those guys high up, that'd be nice. Or a Nolan as well, like that would be great too. Walter Nolan. So there's a lot of different guys in the draft who can fit the Steelers' mold. Mo, who can kind of be that different game changer on the D-line. So the Steelers have some things to do to figure out in the draft. So we'll see exactly what happens. But Mel Blount is correct. Steelers do have some. They got a pretty nice roster, pretty solid roster, but still missing a few little holes on the roster like that, and those few little pieces from being a top level, elite level roster and stuff. But I do love our receiving core now with George Pickens and DK Metcalf. Kevin Austin played pretty good last year. He played better than what he did the year before. But I would love for us to maybe bring another guy in, like I mentioned last video, a Tyler Boyd or a Tyler Lockett, one of those individuals maybe bring in. I think Tyler Lockett might be heading to the Raiders probably, most likely, to reunite, Geno Smith, and then you have Pete Carroll there, of course. It'd be kind of like perfect. But Tyler Boyd wouldn't be bad. He played at Pittsburgh College before. He wanted to be drafted by the Steelers. The Steelers passed upon him, and he was a little mad about that. Now he can kind of have a chance to come back. So bring him in as the third option. Him and Kevin Austin be the third, fourth option. With Roman Wilson, we'll see how he looks. Maybe he emerges as another option too, and we'll see how things go. Or you can go younger side, like you can draft one later rounds, maybe 6th round. You draft somebody like that and bring them in. But we'll see what the Steelers do fully. But this kind of all the news I have today. Just discussing, some things, some topics for the Steelers. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe for more content. And I'll probably see you guys later today discussing something else. I have a video idea I want to do later today based off that topic. So yeah, we'll dive into that. But yeah, that's all I have. Peace out.